to be a freelance photographer for years, like I taught myself, and to have an organization say, we see you, we believe in you, and we want to actually put our money where our mouth is and support you. I don't know, words can't explain how excited I was about it. I'm Eve Harlowe, and I'm a Black trans femme in the arts. I'm a photographer, artist, originally from Philadelphia. I live in Brooklyn now by way of Florida. I spent a good time of my life living in Hollywood, Florida, and now I'm here in New York. I've been invited up to New York several times to do shoots with Double D Productions, which is Deja Smith, she's an industry makeup artist, and D Tranny Bear, who's an industry hairstylist. They brought me up for several shoots, and they had both been hair and makeup on the show Pose. And so they wanted to do a sort of retrospective, and the model that they chose was Gia Love. And so they wanted me to shoot that. And on that shoot is where I met Jordan J. She was very quiet, very unassuming, but after a certain break in the shoot, she and I found ourselves together in the living room alone. And so we started to chat, and she was telling me about what she was working on, which was BTFA. And she asked me, would I be interested in coming up for a residency? And I said, well, of course. I mean, I've never been offered a residency anywhere before. I'd only done little small gallery showings with a group of other artists. So the idea of doing a residency was exciting, but honestly, I didn't really know all that a residency entailed. So for me, it was more so this young trans woman is trying to do something good in the community. Whatever I can do to facilitate that, whatever I can do to help, I'm in. So just let me know when you need me to come up. That's kind of where my head was at. Fast forward to maybe a year later, I finally got the call from Jordan, and she laid out what all the residency entailed, and it literally knocks me over. Because to be a freelance photographer for years, like I taught myself, I spent many, many years doing free work as a photographer. I made a living at that point off of editing for other companies. But in terms of photography, I was, I just did it all on my own. I built up my reputation and my skill set from doing free work, basically. And so to have an organization say, we see you, we believe in you, and we want to actually put our money where our mouth is and support you, I was shocked. I was overwhelmed. I was so grateful. Words can't explain how excited I was about it. They took care of my living expenses while I was in New York. They paid me. They laid out the red carpet for me in terms of, what do you need for your equipment? What do you need in terms of, like, it was mind-boggling to me. To this day, it is just one of the best experiences I've ever had. Like as a Black trans femme artist, as an artist, as a woman, as a Black person, as any part of me, it was literally one of the best experiences I ever had. I was so happy, and it lasted for a month. And after that month was over, I went back to Florida, and not soon after I got back home, when my dog died, it was just like I didn't care about my apartment anymore. I didn't care about how beautiful Florida was. I just was like, without him, I wasn't attached to anything. Like, all of my friends and family are mostly up here. The Double D's, my best friend, my family in Philadelphia, and BTFA was looking gorgeous compared to my broken heart in Florida, no real support system around me. So I was like, I called my best friend and was like, I'm thinking about moving up there. And he was like, let's do it. I just knew the energy here is for me. The people that I know here are for me. You know, they want to see me succeed. They want to see me win. So I didn't know how it was all going to play out, but I just thought this is where I needed to be. I came out to the scene in 1991, but there weren't a lot of options for the girls in the way of career. And, you know, I wanted to be an actress more than anything. My girlfriend coined the phrase, the family business. You know what I'm talking about. And so I did that for a long time. And I got to a point where I was just like, I'm smarter than this. I'm more talented than this. I have a lot more to offer to the world than just this. And I decided to pursue the editing and the photography. I decided to do photography because I'm noticing how I'm taking other people's images and making them better. And I'm like, well, why don't I do the photography too? I can edit my own pictures. I can make, you know what I mean? And because I am a femme queen at the end of the day, who better to practice my photography than with the girls? The girls are vivacious, they're beautiful, they're talented, they're exciting. Like, I don't have access to models, but I have access to the girls. And so that's why my work is predominantly focused on trans women, because we're beautiful and we should be celebrated, we should be featured, we should be highlighted, and our beauty should be seen by the world. So that's why it started that way, and that's why it's still that way to this day. Now, don't get me wrong, I still shoot everybody, I'll shoot anybody, but my personal focus, the girls as a whole, are my muse. Yeah, me and BTFA are a match made in heaven. Oddly enough, once I landed in New York, I met up with Jordan. We went out to lunch, and I told her all of what had gone on with me that brought me to New York. And she told me all of what was going on with BTFA. And one of the things was that they had finally opened up some full-time job positions. So I asked her, I said, I don't know, do you think I should apply for it? And she was like, you 100% should apply for this job. And because I knew Jordan, obviously, from being in residency, she made it clear to me that, you know, I had made it through that first round of interview with her, but now in the interest of fairness to everyone and not being biased because we know each other, my second interview was going to have to be with another board member. So I did that interview, and thank God everything went wonderful, and I apparently impressed her. You know, I'm a very modest person. I'm not full of myself. I know I'm talented. I know what I do is good, but I don't assume that everybody's gonna love it. Everybody, you know, I just don't. And so I was genuinely, I literally squealed when I got the phone call that I got the job and I was gonna receive a letter. That's how I came to actually work for BTFA as the studio manager, production coordinator. And it's the best thing ever because it's in my wheelhouse, one, and I want to give or facilitate or be a part of the facilitation of other girls getting the opportunity that I had in one way or another. You know, I love the activations that we have when the girls come to the studio, and I can talk to them and hug them and welcome them and let them know this is Femme Queen headquarters. You know, this is a home for you. You can come here to study. You can come here to put on a project or do your thing. Whatever you need that we can provide, we're here for you. Because I know what that meant to me. It's just nothing like it to have an organization stand up for you and hold you down as you create your art. So I couldn't be more happy. As an artist, like BTFA has not only employed me, but also commissioned me as an independent contractor for my art. And also, there was a limitation to what I had access to before BTFA. Any photographer will tell you that they would love to work with pro photo gear. And I had worked with pro photo gear with other gigs that I had in the past. But in this capacity with BTFA, not only am I able to use pro photo gear, but now any of the girls that come to BTFA have access to that equipment as well. That kind of thing is priceless. Like I said, it's important to me to want to support other girls, you know? Especially the younger girls that are coming up. There are probably so many people who have interest in photography, but don't pursue it because photography equipment is so expensive. So if they know that BTFA is here, you can actually come, you can actually borrow the equipment, I'm actually going to be doing some workshops so I can teach some skills to the girls. So that's how I'm flourishing. That's how I'm free to flourish with the support of BTFA. I just want us to grow. I think the bigger we get and the more we grow and the more funding that we get, the more Black trans femmes in the arts we can support and help. And I want to see that happen. I also want to see us grow to a point as a studio where we're able to produce films. We're able to, you know, have a dance studio on site. And we have a fully functional photography studio. I want us to grow, and I know that's Jordan J's intentions as well, but I really want to see that come to fruition. You know, there are other organizations that do great things for trans women, but I mean particularly for trans women in the arts. There's never been anything like BTFA, and I want to just see it get to be a juggernaut to where we can help so many more girls around the world.